So in today's quick video, we are going to be talking about proper risk management, how to actually scale a small account, because you don't need a lot of money to start trading Forex, and you don't need a lot of money to be profitable. It is going to be a process that you have to be patient with, but once you understand the concept of scaling, and how to do it properly, you'll just be much more excited to be patient with your trades, let them play out. And you'll also feel more confident to take multiple trades, right? If you have one trade idea that you trust and you have the trust to put in that trade one time, instead of looking for a million trades in the market, you can consider entering that same trade 4 or 5 times. Right now, I'm not saying over trade, but if you're going to be entering multiple trades anyway, why not enter the same trade multiple times? If you guys have ever, let's just say you set a goal and you needed to secure a certain amount of pips, if you looked at one pair and looked at another pair and you were in multiple trades to try to secure those pips, drop a 7 in the chat, right? Because what I've done and what I've noticed is that I would get into, let's say, 3 or 4 trades for the day. 3 will be profitable. 1 will be not profitable. So now everything is at break even. When the trades that are going really well, had I entered those same trades multiple times, I could have seen more profit, right? I know we've probably all been in that position because we look at trading and we see the reality of, oh my God, it's so many different currency pairs. The market's moving all the time. It's open 24/7. It's appealing, right, for us to want to get into all these things and take advantage of all these things. But again, in my experience, that is leading to over trading and break even, which is not what I want. So I rather focus on a solid setup, right? I rather focus on a solid pair for the week, right? Because if I can look at this pair, like Joe, this is something I know you like to do. You like to have really long trades. So instead of taking that whole trade, just break it down into smaller trades where I'm not trying to secure 120 pips in one trade, but I may have 3 trades that hit TP for 40 pips, but it's the same idea, right? We don't have to be jumping all over the market. So the first thing we're actually going to review is lot sizes, right? Just really quickly so that we can put this into perspective about how we don't need a lot. And in this example today, we're going to pretend we're starting with, we'll do a $50 account and we'll do a $100 account, right? Because that is where most people will start at. But first, we're just going to do a quick review of lot sizes because you're going to see, or I want to demonstrate how simple it can be to scale up your account. And we're talking about Forex lot sizes right now because Forex lot sizes are different from crypto lot sizes, are different from indices, and even different from commodities like gold, silver, oil, right? Everything is going to be different. So when it comes to Forex, um, the smallest lot size, and you may feel like this is a review, but that's okay. It's okay to go back to the basics because you have to build on your knowledge. And when you truly understand the fundamentals, that's when you can take it to the next level. So let's lock in and enjoy the basics training. So for Forex, 0.01 is 10 cents, right? So this is 10 cents per pip. Now, a pip is, we know how the market is measured, and it actually stands for point in percentage, right? So when we're trading, we really don't have to risk a lot of money, right? If the market moves 10 pips, right? If the market moves 10 pips, right? Let's just say plus 10 pips. I don't want to confuse you. Let's just say I'm gonna do it down here, plus 10 pips at a 10-cent lot size. 10 pips times 0.01, right? Or 10 cents, you're going to make $1 in this trade, right? And I actually have a reference sheet that I made with all of the lot sizes on there that I will send you guys. So 0.01 is 10 cents per pip. So if the market moves up 10 pips, that's where you set your take profit, or you decided to get out, you would have made $1 in that trade. Now I'm just going to jump up a little bit because this is a safe lot size, right? If you have a $50, right, or $100 account, this is 30 cents per pip. So this means that for every time the market goes up 1 point, you're going to be making 30 cents, right? So let's just say the market went up 10 pips again, but this time we had risked 30 cents. We would do 10 pips times 0.03 is $3, right? 30 cents per pip times 10 pip, that's $3. So this, let's just say person A took the trade for 10 cents because they only had maybe $8 in their account. Because I've actually started and grown Forex accounts from $8. I've grown Forex accounts from $12, right? Sometimes I just really didn't have the money, so I just had to use what I had. And then sometimes I'll have leftover money in Cashapp, and I'm like, I'm going to see how I can actually grow this account, right? Because what I found was that the more money I had, I'm taking the same trade ideas as everybody else, but I'm actually getting more out of it, right? So far, student A has only made $1, right? And it's about, yeah, you should definitely, anytime you have extra funds left over in Cash App, put it in whatever broker that you currently use, and just multiply it. Just multiply it. Because when it comes to withdrawals, the minimum withdrawal will be like $100. But when it comes to deposits, you can deposit anything. And then once I found that out, I literally used to have so little money. Like I just was like, well, I know I can get into this trade for 10 cents a pip, right? And if I'm getting into this trade twice, right, or I'm doing 40 pips, right? So let's just go back to this dollar trade really quickly, right? For people with a small account, or if you want to practice a small account, or if you're tired of blowing big accounts and you just really want to see, that's one of the beauties of having a small account is you can really see that your money can grow from 10 cents. Like that's the best part. So let's just say student A, right? Student A is going to be our 10 cent trader, right? And this may be you, right? This may be you. And that's okay, because when you get more money and you're doing the same thing, imagine if you was risking $100 per pip, right? And you only got 10 pips. You just made $1,000 in the same trade that somebody made $1 in, and you're doing the same thing. You have more money. So let's say student A, this is what they did. They decided that they saw a trade set up and they entered this trade. Now, the cool thing about MT4 or trading is that this person could have entered this trade 4 times if they wanted. They could enter this trade 5 times, right? So from a 50-cent risk, they just made $5, right? They got into the same trade. They didn't have to do multiple analysis. They entered the same trade, same entry point, same exit point, and they made $5, right? So this is nice. The 30 cent is comfortable, right? When I have my $50 accounts, this is what I like to do. I like to start at these places, right? Just because I know the account is going to grow. Like I know that I can get into this trade. If I trust the trade, and honestly, this is another cool thing about trading. If the market is not in drawdown and is going in your favor, the money is just literally going to keep going, right? Like let's just say this went up to 100 pips, right? And again, we still only using 10 cents. We still talking about student A. Let's just say we were in this trade for 100 pips, one trade, right? Not twin trading. So then we made $10 in this one trade. Now, if the market was not in drawdown and you got a really good entry point, you're trading at a active time of the day, depending on when you trade. Now, let's just say you got into this trade, right? 4 times. You just made $40 from 40 cents just because your trade analysis was correct. and you just let the market do its thing, right? So you don't have to have $1 million to scale your account. Like I've literally taken, the most recent account I had was $12, right? I was like, let me see what I can do with this. I made a withdrawal. It was like $12 left in that account. And now that account is like over $100, right? And this is only since last week. So if your entry points are great, right? And we won't always have great entry points, but that's why it's nice to get in the market to practice, because sometimes I've seen some of you guys' trade ideas and I've had the opportunity to find really, really good entry points myself, right? They won't always be perfect, but when you get a nice entry point and there's not a lot of drawdown and the market's really going in your favor, that's nothing but profit, right? So that's when I saw this happen for myself, that's just what made me hopeful, right? I'm not going to teach you guys something that I haven't been through or something I haven't experienced or something that really doesn't make sense. Like I've grown very small accounts and been able to withdraw and been able to sustain myself from just being patient, because we're going to go back to student A, but we're going to talk about student C, right? Because this is one of my favorite lot sizes to use when I do have an account anywhere between $50 to $100, right? Especially if your entry point is going to be great and you're not in drawdown too much, it's nothing but profit, right? If this is making sense, guys, what I'm saying, if this is making sense, just drop a 7 in the chat, right? Because I feel like a lot of the times people feel like you have to have so much money to trade or to see profit or to make a withdrawal, and it's just not true. Like you can scale your small account within a week. No, grow your small account within a week, and then by next week we're scaling up, and that's what we're going to talk about next, the proper way to scale an account. Because a lot of people, I realize, because I've been that person too, you're not making money because you never change your lot size, right? You find a lot size that you're comfortable with, and the same lot size that you was using when you had $50 is the same lot size that you're using when you have $150, when at this point it should be triple, right? If I've had a conversation with you guys, anybody in the last month, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned scaling your account to you, right? So student C, let's just say this person starts with a 0.05 lot size, because this is actually quite comfortable for me when I have a $50 account, right? So that's 50 cents per pip. And the reason why I like this one is because it's easy. I know all I need is 2 pips to make $1. 2 pips to make $1. And the reason why I actually like this one is because if you've been in the chat for more than 1 month, how many pips do we typically secure in one trade, right? It could be 2 answers here, or technically 3, since we've been doing 3 TPs. How many TPs do we, how much money, pips do we secure? Okay, exactly. JW, you got the right answer. You tapped in. So minimum 40 pips, right? So if we know, and this is one trade, right? If we know in our class, we can secure a minimum of 40 pips in a singular trade, how much can we make in that trade using a 50-cent lot size, right? And we're going to do plus 40 pips. Somebody tell me, if we do 40 pips times 50 cent, how much are we making in that trade? $20. We making $20 in that one trade. Now, this is one trade, one day. Let's say we twin trading, right? That's $40 in a day. $40 in one day, one trade, right? So that's pretty nice. When is the last time right? Because this is not, again, not to shame anybody, but is uncommon if you're taking small lots, if you're not understanding how to scale your account, if you're not trusting the trades that's in the chat, so your lot sizes are all over the place. If you consistently doing your own thing and you just making up trades as you go along, it's like secure the pips. So we can enter this trade. Let's just say we enter this trade 2 times. That's $40 in a day. If you could use the extra $40 a day, right? And I typically drop 4 trades in the chat a week. If you could use an extra $160 a week just by using, it's a small lot size. It seems small, but if you could use an extra $160 a week, drop a 7 in the chat, right? And it's not how much money you made, is how you're making this money, right? You're making this money by trusting your confirmations. Like I say this all the time. This is like, it's like kindergarten. Like we're looking at like colors, lines, shapes, and we're asking ourselves basic questions. So I really question some people. I'm like, you don't have the discipline of a child. Like you don't have the discipline to look at shapes, colors, numbers, ask yourself some questions, you panic. You don't have the discipline to do basic math and figure out, I can really make 20, 40. You could enter this trade 3 times. I know, Padma, you said you enter your trade 3 times before. Now, if this trade goes in your favor, whether it's a trade I drop in the chat or it's a trade that you take on your own, that's a good $60 a day. That's realistic. And JW says sometimes the trades go 80 pips, right? So if we do 80 pips, right, times 50 cents, and this is still one trade, right? This is going to be $40. Now, if you twin trade, and that's what, $80 a day, 80 times 5, what's that, $400 at the end of the week? Right? If you have money in your trading account right now, just drop a 7 in the chat. Right? Because there's no reason that our account should still be going up and down and doing the same thing when we can just follow these basic things. The reason why, and I say this all the time, I don't want you guys to be me. I don't want you guys to trade like me. I want you guys to trade like you. I don't always follow all of my own rules, but the reason why I'm so a stickler in making sure that you understand, okay, 40 pips, 40 pips, 40 pips, 40 pips. You've seen it continuously that this can be secured. Now you can go from there. You can change it to 30 pips and increase your lot size. You can change it to anywhere between 40 and 80 pips. Like I want you guys to have the confidence to know that you can secure these pips, right? If this chat has given you the confidence that money can be made, right? Again, drop a 7 in the chat. Because we have to start putting 2 and 2 together. If you've seen that it can be done, and you know that you have money in your account, choose a lot size, right? I would say anywhere between 10 cents and 50 cents, but I would not go over that for now, just because actually do what you want. But personally, this is how I've been able to like literally grow these small accounts so quickly, because next week, right? Let's just say this person, right? Let's just say we're gonna go with student C, right? Let's just say student C at the end of the week, they had a few trades hit TP, a few trades hit stop loss. They was doing their 80 pip trades. So let's actually take a real week that we did. Like let's take a real month that we did actually. Let me go and see. Now I'll do a week. So on July 23rd, from July 23rd to July 28th, we secured 300 pips, right? We secured 300 pips. That was 4 TPs that was hit. So that was a really good week. If we secured 300 pips, right, just from the trades in the chat, and you used a 0.03, right, a 30-cent lot size, how much money would you have made that week, right? If you use a 30-cent lot size for those 300 pips, how much would you have made that week? From 30 cents. Remember, just multiply the pips by the lot size to figure out the profit. $90. Exactly. You could have made $90 from that small risk. Now, had you risked 50 cents, you would have made $150 that week. Right? Now, we could even do another week where there were some stop losses. Let's see. Gotta find one, because y'all know we be winning over here. Even if you did hit the stop loss, you still would have had profit at the end of the week. Now, we're going to focus on student C. Let's just say student C, they started with $75 in the account, right? That was their starting amount. And then they made $90 profit from the 300 pips, and they was only using a 50-cent lot size. So 90 plus 75. Now, their balance in their trading account is $165. So if they want, you could actually start to increase in this, and this is where the scaling comes in. Now, instead of risking 50 cents per pip, let's say you're risking 60 cents per pip, right? Now, let's just say you do 300 pips the next week too. Now you just made $180, right? You just made $180 instead of 90, right? So you're just, as you increase your account balance, you need to also be increasing your lot size, right? Don't stay at 50 cents. As your money goes up, even if it's, you don't have to double it right away, but as your money goes up, the next trade, even if you want to do it in the very next trade, and this is compounding, you're including your profits and your risk, right? And then let's just say by the end of the month, if you did all of that, let's just say you came up $400 at the end of the month. Now, from 75 to 475, you know your lot size could be higher. You can maybe even be using $1.50 per pip, right? So if we do $1.50 per pip times the same 300 pips, now instead of making $90 a week, we're making $450 a week, but we're doing the same exact thing, right? 50 cents as a percentage of what? What do you mean? I don't know if I understand the question. 50 cents as a percentage of what total accounts? Could you ask the question a different way? So I'm gonna let JW rephrase this question, but if you guys have any questions about this, anything else, I'm gonna let you rephrase it. Or let me see, wait, if you could take yourself off mute, hold on. You should be able to, but
Hey, I wasn't sure who this would be talking about.
no, it's
Um,
fine.
so you saying 50 cents, right, for that lot size. So, I mean, you basing that off of like what range of like your total account size? Like, should I like, so I mean, I'm probably just doing proper, not proper management of the risk. So like, I mean, 50 cents is like what, like for like a $50 account or like a $30 account. And then like maybe you go up to $1 once you hit 100, something like that. That's kind of what you're saying, or
Yeah, like I've definitely used 50-cent lot sizes on $50 accounts. But again, if you're using a 40 pip stop loss in TP, you know that if you only have $50, that's going to take $20 out of your account. So you can start lower at 30 cents or you can start at 10 cents. But if you
okay,
feel comfortable with your entry point, then 50 cent will be fine because it isn't going to be any drawdown. The market is going to go your way. Or if you set a tight stop loss of like, honestly, 5 or
that's
10 pips,
five,
that's fine.
or five, or I mean, because I I think I did a bigger lot size and I still had that 20 pips on my stop loss, so that kind of it just brought me back down to even. So that's kind of where I've been all week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so slightly above. So I mean, I think I probably got to do a tighter stop loss and a bigger I mean, it made a smaller lot size. So
Either or, I would say like as you get more comfortable with the trades and be like, okay, like say for example, you're using a liquidity strategy, which means that you're focusing on the wicks specifically, and you're like rejection, rejection. Okay, I feel strongly that the market is going to go the opposite way. It's like in that case, you're predicting that the market isn't really going to go down. So it's good that if it stays in profit with a 50-cent lot size, because the money is just going to keep going up. But if it does go to drawdown, just use a tighter lot size, because even if you use a 10 pip lot size, you only will be like losing $5.
yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do with the smaller size, and then I think I'm not gonna do the TP3 this week. I'm just gonna do twin trading. So see how that works.
Okay. All right, that's definitely fair. But I will show you how to trail your stop loss, because it's literally just a matter of it's literally moving your stop loss into profit. And I'll demonstrate that as well, because that's something you could do to take less losses and again manage your risk. But I really wanted to show you guys that you don't really need tons of money to start trading. Now, the market won't always go 100 pips. If you want to wait, you can do that. Or again, you can just lower this to the typical 80 pips, and that'll be $8. And even if you do enter this trade, let's just say 5 times, right? And this is when you do decide to twin trade just means you're entering the trade more than one time. Your stop loss and your TP don't always have to be equal, right? So we can have an 80 pip TP, and we're gonna focus on student A because this is the smallest lot size, right? So anybody can work with this, your demo account, your live account, and not feel like too stressed about it. 80 pips is typical what we get. You're using 10 cents per pip, that's $8. Now, your stop loss can still be only 25 pips, right? Like your TP can be 80 pips, but then you're like, it doesn't always have to be a one-to-one. I'm just very methodical. Like when I find a way to do something, it's like it's gonna be routine, routine, routine. But I want you guys to get flexible and switch it up, because we can have a 25 stop loss, and then in this case, even if the trade go wrong, you only lost $2.50. But if it go right, you made $8. Does that make sense, y'all? Drop a 7 in the chat if that makes sense, right? Asking about what percentage of account to risk. Okay, that's a great question. That's a great question. But yeah, the last thing I'll say about this is while you're practicing, don't be afraid to be student A, right? Don't be afraid to be student A. Like I had a session, me and Lakia. Oh, Lakia's our new student, so everybody got welcome Lakia. Hey girl. But me and Lakia had a session the other day. We got into a Euro USD sell for 10 cents, right? And if you're still in that trade, Lakia, you will see that it's up $15. It's up $15, right? So from 10 cents to $15, right? And then I have a 20-cent trade on here too, so it's up $30. So that's $45 from a 30-cent risk, y'all. Right? And this is since I think Thursday. So it's not hard, right? You just got to be patient. And I know sometimes we get mad, like, oh my God, it's only $4. It's like, okay, so use 20 cents and make $8 and get into the trade 5 times and make 40. Like you have to stop being scared and really trust your trade. Yeah, hold, don't fold. All right, so we have to still talk about trailing the stop loss. Spicy said, what percentage of the accounts to risk? And Padma said, leverage is an issue 1 to 30. Oh yeah, so with that, okay, let me answer this. Let me just try to go in order. So Spicy, your question about what percentage of the account to risk a day? I try not to go over like 3% of my account. Like when I'm being a little flexible, it may be 5%. But let's just say you have a $100 account, right? And you're not going to risk more than 3% a day. That just means that again, you wouldn't want to risk more than $3. What does that mean? That means that you see how we just set a 25 pip stop loss and only lost $2.50. With a $100 account, we did not lose more than 3% of our account, right? Now, let's just say you have a higher account. Let's just say you have a higher account and maybe you have $250. 3% of $250 is going to be $7.50, right? So as long as if you're going to be like trading by percentage to manage your risk and stuff, because I do that sometimes just to really help me. Like if I take a loss, I'll be like, oh, like the other day I lost some money and it seemed substantial if it wasn't within my risk parameters. Like I would have been stressed, but I'm like, oh, well, it's still within my 3%, unfortunately. But yeah. So $7.50 would be like a 3% risk of a $250 account. And remember, your stop loss don't have to be crazy. Your risk, it don't have to be crazy. Like it doesn't have to be. And if your stop loss is tight, that's perfectly fine. Do you know why that's fine? Because if you lose, in this example, you only lost this, but you still made this if the trade goes in your favor. So I think that I emphasize this a lot is because you wouldn't be so angry about losing your trades if your risks were managed properly, right? Because you accounted for that, right? In the same way that you have a risk profile, you also need to have a growth profile, right? I know a lot of us who have been around for a while, I Am Academy days, the rule that they said was you should try to grow your account by 8% a day, right? So if I have $100 account, right? If I have $100 account, oh, it's not your question? I'm confused now. I hope I answered somebody's question. But if you have $100 account, how much do you need to make in a day to grow your account by 8%? Somebody let me know. $100 account. If I'm going to grow my account by 8% today, how much profit do I need to make? Exactly $8, right? Is $8 realistic to make in one day? Do you guys think $8 is realistic to make in one day? Okay, everybody's saying yes. So once your account, you got $100 account and then you make $8, right? Now you got $108. Now you have to grow your account by 8% of that, right? So proper risk management is not hard. You really just have to stop and think about it for a second. Like when I ask you guys and I talk to you one-on-one, what is your trading plan? I'm not asking you to just spew out trades to me. Like, what is your plan? Like, how do you plan to literally make this money? Like, it's so many ways that you can approach the market. It's so many different lot sizes. It's so many different currency pairs. It's so many different times a day to trade. It's so many different assets. So it's like the more you think about this and the more serious you get about it, it's like the wins and losses, they're just gonna come. Your losses aren't gonna affect you as much because they're built into your trading plan, right? They're literally built into your trading plan. Another question is our quarterly, right? A quarterly for this class is $150, right? If we divided 150 by 20, which is like 20 trading days in a month, not including weekends, that's $7.50 a day, right? We can make $7.50 a day. And it's not to simply to get you to focus on paying your quarterly, but it's just like if you see how I'm pretty sure. Okay, let me ask this. If you've made $7.50 in a day trading Forex before, drop a 7 in the chat. Right? You can do that consistently. You can twin trade. You can scale your account. Once you do that, then you can double your risk and you can be making double the amount next week. You just got to be patient and stop trying to get rich in one trade and stop taking such a long break when you take a loss and stop trying to trade on top of trade on top of trade and stop trying to take trades in the opposite direction of everybody. It's like just find how much money you need to make, right? Find out realistically how many trades are you going to take a week, or how many trades do you typically take a week? Or if you don't trade that often, how many trades do you need to take a week to reach that goal? play around with different lot sizes. I can get here from doing 20 pips at 50 cents, or I can get here from doing 40 pips at $1. It's like, play around with it, write it down. Because it's once you have a plan, all you really have to do is execute it. Right? When they say trading is really 10% skill and 90% will, it's like you gotta have the will to and the discipline to be consistent with this. You gotta have the heart to be okay with seeing $4 profits and $8 profits until you can see $16 profits and $32 profits. Until you can see $64 profits and $128 profits. Because if you keep doing the same thing that you're doing at a small level, you can scale up your account and you can get the results that you're looking for. There's no reason you should be going up and down, right? And I'm gonna tell you, if you're going up and down in your account, it's because you're probably over trading, right? You're most likely over traded because I'm pretty sure you've been really, really, really up, and then you just been on a trader high. You just want to keep trading. And if you can relate to this, it's always the last trade you take that will wipe out all the work that you've done. It's always, I'm doing really good, so I'm gonna double my risk in the next trade while the current trade is still playing out. And now you're at break even once again. Right? It's giving, I'm over leveraging. So now I have to try to go back and revenge trade and make my money, but now my margin is too low. So now I got to make another deposit. That's what it's giving. Like, and I can only say this because I have been this trader, y'all. You have to get tired of yourself. You got to get tired of losing money. Like, you really got to get tired of it. Another thing you got to get tired of, and we're going to take it back to I Am Academy days, write this down in your notebooks. You really need to get tired of trading in your demo account. You actually need to get tired of making cents on the dollar. You need to get tired of that. Like, you need to get tired of hitting TPs for $4. Like, if you're tired of hitting TPs for $4, drop a 7 in the chat. Like, you need to get, if you're tired of seeing thousands of dollars in your demo account, drop a 7 in the chat. We need to get tired of that. Because until you get tired of doing that, until you get tired of making the same mistakes, until you get tired of exactly the market give it and take it away, until you get tired of making the same mistakes, until you get tired of yo, this lady on YouTube, her name is Latoya Okia. She be calling people broke, busted, and disgusted. Like, until you get tired of being broke, busted, and disgusted, you're really gonna be making the same mistakes. But I'm really here to show y'all that just clean it up. Just clean it up. Get serious. Pick a number and stick to it. What you want to pay this month? What you want to do? You need to pay your phone bill? You trying to travel more? You trying to compete with your job? Like, whatever you're trying to do, you trying to pay your quarterly? You trying to, I don't know what you're trying to do. But whatever you're trying to do, you need to get serious about it. Right? Get tired of trading in your demo. Like, so we can take it to live. But all right, guys, that was the bulk of it. I'm going to answer these last two questions. Well, I'm going to answer Padma's question about the leverage, which in that case, all you would have to do, your trades would just have to be pretty much cleaner. Like, instead of having like a 40 pip stop loss, you just would have to have a really tight stop loss, and you probably would have to be going for trades that's like 1 to 3. So your stop loss may be like 15 pips. Your TP may be like 45, right? And we know we can hit 80 pips. So your stop loss really should be 20 and your TP really should be 80. So that's a 1 to 4 for you, right? And I think you can manage that with a 1 to 30 leverage because you don't really have that much room to move around in the market. So your trades have to be more precise. So we will work on that because I like my trades to have room to breathe because I don't scalp as much as I used to. I'm a swing trader. So with swing trader, I'm analyzing over more time. So I need more room for my trade. But again, that's my style. You can use it as a guide, but you have to find what works for you. But that's what we will focus on with you, Padma, is tighter stop losses, 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio. And then, okay, yeah, because we have you gotta tell me when you want to have your meeting also this week. But the last thing we'll talk about, unless you guys drop additional questions, I'm going to just talk about trailing stop loss, which is pretty simple. It's pretty simple, and this will also help anybody who's been struggling with setting the multiple TPs. I'm actually going to show you two ways that you can do this. One will be sell stop or buy stop, which will be limit orders in the direction of the market. And the second thing will be actual trailing stop. So let's get in here. Let me show you all this. What am I looking for? I'm trying to for y'all. Trying to unhide my candles. Sorry, y'all. It's up here, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we go. Let me just refresh this because they're not coming back. Sorry, y'all. My candles don't come back. Class over. So we gonna see. Hopefully they back. They not back. Sorry, it's literally just supposed to say unhide, but I don't see them. It's definitely not here. It's here. Y'all, I don't know where the candle's at, so I really don't know. I took them off, but I can't find them. Oh wait, let me try here. No, it's usually I don't know, but I'm gonna just have to draw it out for y'all. So bear with me. So pretty much let's just say we're gonna talk about sell stops, and we also gonna talk about because this is two way that you can actually make sure that you secure your profits for TP2 and TP3. So let's just say that we're gonna use this. This is gonna be market entry. This is gonna be our market entry right here. And we're going to do a sell example. So this is going to be our entry. Now, let's just say we got into the market for a sell, right? And this was our entry point. So when we sell, I'm going to say this is TP1. This is going to be TP2. And this is going to be TP3. And this is going to be our stop loss up here. Second, y'all. All right, there we go. So this is our stop loss. We're going to say this is about 40 pips. This is our market entry. We're going to put TP1 down here. Two is going to be here. And TP3. Okay. So we got into the trade for a sell. That means that the market is going to be coming down this way. So we got in here. TP1 would be 40 pips. TP2 would be 60 pips. And TP3 would be 80 pips. So typically when we enter the market, let's just say we got in for market execution. This will be our entry point. Our stop loss will be up here for 40 pips. Now, if the market does start to sell, actually, hold up. So let's just say this is our entry and the market decides to sell, right? The market's going up and down, the market's going up and down, and then the market actually sells. So the market hits our TP. Now, sometimes this is what you said will happen to UJW, and I think Padma too. The market will hit TP1 and then it'll actually come back up, right? It'll come back up. It may hit the stop loss before it actually continues down to TP2 and TP3. So that's usually what's happening. So what you can do is pretty much, since this is your stop loss, right? Let's just say the market decided to sell, it decided to sell. What you can do, since the market is moving down, you can move. The first thing that you can do is, this was your original entry point. Since the market is now down here, right? You can move your stop loss to entry, right? So now your stop loss is lower than it was before, right? So now this is your stop loss where your entry point was. So even if the market does come back up here, you broke even, right? So if the market does come back up here, you broke even. Now, let's just say the market actually does continue to sell, right? Let's just say it does continue to sell even further. You're just going to be doing this. You're going to be moving your stop loss with it. So now the market is still going. Your stop loss can be where your TP1 was, right? You're staying in the trade. You're staying in the trade, but your stop loss is where your TP1 was before, right? So now you just are adjusting it. As the market is continuing to drop, you're just adjusting with it. So the market's going down. Your stop loss was way up here before. This was the original market entry point, but as the market's going down, you're adjusting your stop loss and you're staying in profit. So even if we get here to TP2 and the market goes up to stop loss, you still close with your stop loss and profit. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So that's literally one way that you can do it, is like literally as the market is going down, you're literally just adjusting your stop loss with it, so that even if it hits stop loss, it's hitting stop loss and profit because the market continued to sell for so long. Okay. Now the second thing you can do to secure TP2 and TP3, which would probably make more sense, is, again, this is going to be our stop loss. This is going to be our market entry. Hold on, let me just put it back. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And if you want to your trade to hit stop loss and profit, you should monitor it if that's something you want to do. Like if you be like, yes, it's on its, like, let's just say the trade, I would say to move your stop loss, because I typically just say keep the trade the way it is, but move your stop loss once the trade is about 5 pips from TP. And my alerts are typically once the trade has actually hit TP. But if you set your alert 5 pips before, now you can come in and move your stop loss and let the trade keep going without giving yourself a headache. You already secure profits, you're in profit. So you technically can close, or you can just adjust your stop loss so that it keeps selling. So that's one thing you can do. The second thing you can do, we're going to take a sell example again. Market entry. So this is our entry point. This is what a market currently is. This is TP1. This is TP2. So we're going to say TP2 / sell stop, right? TP1 / stop loss for sell stop 1, right? That may sound confusing, but it's not. So this is when we enter the trade, right? We enter the trade here. So let's just say the market sell and it hits TP1, because remember, this is TP1. Now, the same time we enter this trade and we know that this is TP1, we're going to set a sell stop at TP1, right? Because a sell stop means that your trade triggers as the market is going down, right? So the market is already selling. This is our entry. It's hit TP1. TP1 is going to be the entry point for our sell stop. So when this TP is hit, this trade is going to trigger, and our TP2 is going to be our TP1 for this trade. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, drop a 7 in the chat. So you get in that market entry. You set your TP1. TP1 is also going to be a pending order. The same number that you have for TP1 is going to be a pending order for the sell stop. And now your entry could become your stop loss. So essentially, you're catching all the pips as the market goes down. And Spicy, yes, you can make your comment.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that basically, like what you were explaining right now, like that's what I'll do with Bitcoin, and like that's what I'll do with like all of those entry points that I put in the market. But just like letting people know, like if you decide to do that with Bitcoin, is like you can't set your pending orders too far off, you know? So it's like just set pending orders. Um, for I would probably say like 6 or 7 at a time, but like don't try to put in all of those pending orders all the way back up to 32K because Bitcoin can get pretty wicky when it starts like losing steam, whether from buying or selling. So yeah, it's gonna buy 1700 pips, but best believe it's about to sell. So that was just my advice. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Because if you guys are in the chat and you scroll back in the chat or look at the pinned messages, you will see a list of entry points for um that Spicy has for Bitcoin. And most of those entry points are depending on which side of the market you're on, they're buy stops. Right, they're buy stops, which means that the trades are going to trigger as the market is going up. So in this case, for the people who were having issues with securing TP2 and TP3, what you want to do is you can still set your market entry, right? But remember, there's different types of limit orders. There's sell stop, buy stop, sell limit, buy limit. If it's a sell stop, it means the entry point is below where the current market is. So TP1 will also be the same number you use for TP1 would be the pending order for your stop loss. So then as soon as this trade is done, this trade automatically triggers. It automatically triggers. So TP1 is now is going to become our stop loss for this trade. Because remember, when this trade triggers, we want it to keep going down, right? We want it to keep going down. So now TP3 will be the TP for this. So pretty much that's different ways to use pending orders. I do have a video, a 5-minute video on the different types of market orders. It can be confusing, but watch it a few times. I also have diagrams in the chat just explaining the difference because a sell stop again means we're catching the pips as the market go down. When I say sell limit, right, that just means that, and I'm gonna just change this to limit for a second, just to show you the difference between a sell stop and a sell limit. A sell limit means the market is still currently here, but our entry point is above where the market is. So that means that the market goes up and down. We know that when it comes back up, it'll trigger, and then our TPs will still be down here. Versus a sell stop, meaning it'll trigger as it goes down. It won't go back up before it comes back down. So that's the main difference, and that's how I secure my multiple TPs. I can enter the trade one time, and then I'll just trail my stop loss in the second and third TP trades because they all have the same entry. Or I will set sell stops depending on how much of the move I actually want to catch. And I think this is the button right